Tonight, we're bringing you a story of superlatives. Europe's biggest protest in years. Europe's last dictator and Europe's latest conflict, with the Russians threatening to send their army. The tiny nation of Belarus in Eastern Europe has become the center of high drama. It started with an election, a rigged election, where the president of 26 years, Alexander Lukashenko, claimed victory. The opposition leader had to flee to Lithuania. There was an internet blackout and thousands of people hit the streets. The situation escalated. Lukashenko sent an SOS to Russia. Putin threatened to send his military to Europe. The European Union held emergency meetings, and now Lukashenko has played a new card to buy time. He has promised another election, but first there will be a referendum. Then a new constitution will be adopted, and then an election will be held. The announcement came this evening. It's a clear ploy to get the protesters off the streets. Will it work? We'll see. First, let's take a look at the high voltage events. These are images from Sunday. Tens of thousands of protesters hit the streets of Minsk, the capital of Belarus. The Independence Square at the center of the city was packed to the brim. Never before has this country seen such a massive campaign. This is a freedom march, a campaign to oust the president, the man who has ruled Belarus since its independence. This is a former Soviet state. And this man, Alexander Lukashenko, has been president since the USSR disintegrated. These protesters want him out. They're dressed in red and white, the colors of the opposition, and they're waving the flag of the opposition.
Belarus! Vive Belarus!
According to a report, at least 200,000 people took to the streets. A week back, Belarus had its presidential election. Lukashenko staked claim to a sixth term as president. The protesters said that the election was rigged. Opposition candidate Svetlana Tikhanovskaya has had to run for her life. Her husband was a candidate in the election. He was put in jail. Then she contested in his place, and she had to flee the country to neighboring Lithuania. Today, she sent this message to the people of Belarus.
I'm prepared to take responsibility and act as the nation's leader during this period so the country settles down and gets back to normality, so that we can release all political prisoners and prepare a legal framework and conditions to hold another round of presidential elections in the shortest time possible. Genuine, fair and transparent elections that will be accepted without question by the international community.
She has support from Europe. European governments have spoken against Lukashenko and announced sanctions. The UK says the election was not fair. Several cities in Europe joined the freedom campaign of Belarusians. The situation became difficult for President Lukashenko. His supporters held a counter-protest. Lukashenko made a speech rejecting the demand for a new election. And then he's done a U-turn this evening. He said an election will be held only after a new constitution is adopted. Of course, until that happens, Lukashenko does not plan to step aside. Today, he took a helicopter to a factory in Minsk. More than 5,000 workers from this very factory were marching in the protest. The president of Belarus tried to win them over.
If someone doesn't want to work and wants to leave, nobody will bully anyone. Nobody will push anyone. Please, go ahead. Doors are open from tomorrow or from today. I'm sorry for this unpopular phrase of mine.
The president sounds helpless because he is. He has turned to an ally for help, Russia. Reports say Lukashenko spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin not once but twice over the weekend. He blames a foreign hand for the protest. And Putin is ready to lend a hand to keep him in power. The Kremlin says it is ready to send military help. What does that mean? Putin has reportedly promised comprehensive military assistance, which means deployment of Russian soldiers and military assets. Has this happened before? Yes, it has. In 2008, the Russian invasion of Georgia. In 2014, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. They looked like this. Will it happen again? And how will Europe respond? The European Union has been holding emergency meetings to devise a strategy. Lukashenko is desperate. And not too long ago, he was defying Putin. In April last year, he had expelled the Russian ambassador to Belarus, accusing him of treating Belarus like a vassal state. The insults continued into 2020. Last month, 33 men were arrested in Belarus. Lukashenko said they were Russian mercenaries trying to stir up trouble ahead of the election. And now the same man, Alexander Lukashenko, has had to swallow his pride and turn to Putin for help. He has not ruled out military help from Russia to save his chair. And if that happens, it will be considered an invasion into Europe by Brussels.